People often use fasting as a justification for eating and drinking whatever they want to afterwards. They develop an "I've earned it" mentality. 7 out of 365 days means nothing, and fasting and cleansing for a week or even a month isn't going to undo the damage done by eating an unhealthy diet and living an unhealthy lifestyle for your whole life. Your health is determined by what you do consistently, long term. We actually met people who would be eating fast food on their way to the detox spa, and others who broke their fast with a bottle of vodka. One exception: unless you have a life-threatening disease such as cancer, where the body would probably benefit from not having to digest solid food for a short period in order to focus on healing, and also from colon cleansing to help the body detoxify rapidly, fasting and colon cleansing are not really necessary. Let your diet and lifestyle be your cleanse, which is what Hippocrates was getting at when he said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." Think of it this way: no animal in nature fasts unless it is really sick, and then it simply stops eating for a day or two until it feels better, and then it resumes eating. In fact, wild animals are always eating because the more they eat, the more energy they have to find a mate, procreate, and raise their offspring. And humans are just another animal, so it begs the question, why would we be any different?
If you're eating a standard Western diet or even a vegan junk food diet, and all of a sudden you stop eating those unhealthy foods, of course you're going to feel better. Just like when people go from a standard American or Australian diet to the paleo diet, they say they feel better. And that's of course because they've cut out dairy and stopped processed foods, so they do feel better. But better doesn't mean optimal, and this feeling better is both relative and short-lived. Some people claim to feel more energetic when fasting. This is likely due to them taking a break from all the fatty foods they're used to eating, which thickens the blood and makes you feel sluggish. And people often spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on fasting and colon cleansing, especially if they go on a retreat or to a detox spa or do an expensive supplement-assisted fast and cleanse. So of course they're going to want to believe that it's working. Nobody wants to feel like they've wasted their money. We experienced this firsthand and continue to promote fasting and colon cleansing despite our negative results.
The theory goes that when we eat acid-forming foods, the body secretes a mucus to protect the intestinal walls, which over time turns into plaque and blocks the absorption of nutrients. This plaque of hardened mucus is called mucoid plaque, and according to proponents of this theory, the only way to remove the plaque is by fasting, drinking detox shakes of psyllium husk powder and bentonite clay mixed with water, taking herbal supplements, and colon cleansing. Now, we did all of this several times extensively and eliminated a lot of supposed mucoid plaque. However, opponents of the theory say that what is eliminated is simply the psyllium husk powder, bentonite clay, and water mixture.
We knew how you break a fast was of critical importance and that you needed to reintroduce solid foods slowly and with great care. For example, you should only eat raw fruit and leafy greens for the first few days and then reintroduce cooked foods slowly thereafter, keeping meals as simple as possible. The danger is that the mind forces the body to starve itself, and so when the mind allows the body to start eating again, the body's survival instinct kicks in and overrides the mind, whereby it will want to eat anything and everything it can get its hands on. This is why after the 28-day cleanse, we found ourselves eating a spicy Japanese curry with rice within 3 days of breaking the fast. The shock was so great for the body that Luca actually fainted halfway through the meal. We laugh about it now, but it was a dangerous situation. Had I not caught his arm as he fell to the ground, he could have smashed his head.
When I discovered a book on fasting and colon cleansing called Cleanse and Purify Thyself, I really thought all my prayers to cure my Candida had been answered. The first time I fasted for 7 days, drinking only detox drinks with psyllium husk powder, bentonite, clay and water, and a liquid-only vegetable broth, taking only herbal supplements and probiotics, and colon cleansing twice daily on a columnar board with a 16-litre bucket of water mixed with coffee in the morning and a 16-litre bucket mixed with garlic in the afternoon. And at the end of the physically grueling 7 days, my Candida was actually worse. However, the book was so convincing that I believed the author's claim that people who had persistent Candida problems needed to keep fasting and colon cleansing. So, only a few months later, I repeated the same exhausting fasting and colon cleansing process again for another 7 days, only to find the same thing, that my Candida had got worse. I investigated further and found that I had been given insufficient quantities of probiotics during each cleanse. 5 months later, I decided to try one last time. This time, I undertook a 28-day program where, for the first 3 weeks, I completely cut out all forms of sugar, ate only very low-calorie raw greens and vegetables in small amounts in the forms of salads and smoothies, and gradually reduced my already ridiculously small caloric intake until the final 9 days where I fasted completely. At the end of one of the most challenging 28 days of my life, surprise, surprise, my Candida had got worse. It turns out that colon cleansing flushes out more of the Lactobacillus acidophilus bacteria than it does the Candida albicans fungi, because the Candida have little hooks on the ends which attach themselves to the bowel walls, making them more difficult to flush out. This creates an imbalance in the intestinal flora and leads to a proliferation of the Candida. So in the end, I had to concede that in my desperation to cure my Candida, I had been scammed 3 times, spent several $1,000s on useless cleansing supplements, put my body through the ringer, severely damaged my metabolism, which 3 years later has still yet to fully heal, and all of which only to make my Candida worse.
No fasting, no colon cleansing, no calorie restriction. We eat a high-carb, low-fat, fruit-based vegan diet. Specifically, we follow the Raw Till 4 lifestyle, the links down below. We eat fruit all day and then have a high-carb, low-fat, cooked vegan meal for dinner. This high-fiber diet naturally cleans out our colons the way nature intended, through frequent bowel movements, a minimum of 2 and as many as 6 each every day. So provided we properly combine our food, we never have an accumulation of waste in our colons. And only on this diet and lifestyle have we cured Candida and all of the other problems that we've suffered from, like asthma, allergies, eczema, constipation, and much more. And even though our fruit-based diet already has a high water content, we also drink a minimum of 3 litres of water a day, as it's vital to drink water for water's sake, as proper hydration is critical for proper digestion and bowel movements. Finally, if you've ever wondered what a colon cleanse feels like, drink a litre of water when you wake up, wait 20 minutes, and then eat a whole small watermelon or half a large watermelon all to yourself. This will have you sprinting to sit on the toilet like Usain Bolt. But please only try this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach and only after a low-fat vegan dinner the night before. Here's Luca now to demonstrate exactly what we mean.
Done. Gotta go. Double thumbs up. So in nature, we would have eaten, and this is how we would have defecated. We would have squatted like this, and it would have allowed for full evacuation of the colon. These Western seats, as you can see, it's not the same position. The colon is in a different position. So all we have to do is simulate what we would do in nature. You get up on the seat, easy does it, and there you go. This is, how you would squat in nature. Full evacuation of the colon. Seriously, you need like 2 squares, 1 white, because it just straight out. If you don't like the idea of getting up on the seat, an alternative is to just get something like a bucket, just to raise the knees, to bring it more into a squat position, again to allow more full evacuation of the colon. You don't want it to get backed up. That's where most disease begins. So just a couple of tips, and get creative.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Now we want to hear from you. What's your experience been? Have you ever fasted? Have you ever colon cleansed? Post your comments and thoughts down below. We want to hear about your experience. If you found this video helpful, if you've enjoyed it, please give it the thumbs up. Don't forget to share it around and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your support as always. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.